all of you all for a little fun. Now, I know you were kind of giving me the golf clap earlier, but when you're in the room with Guy Fieri, you got to give it up. You know we're going to have a good time tonight, right?
Yeah!
So you all just watched the episode Sauerkraut, Shoyu, and Shank. What'd you think? I don't know about you, but my Friday nights consist of all the time sitting back, watching marathons of diners, drive-ins, and dives. Yeah, everybody hear this man right here shaking his head. Yes. I don't care if I've seen the episode 75 times. I'm going to watch it again like it's the first time, right? Absolutely. That's what we love about this show. That's what we love about Guy. He is that guy. You know, he's like everybody's best friend. He's our next door neighbor. You just want to hear what he has to say, and you want to see all of that good food. So I don't want to wait any longer because I know you guys don't want to sit and hear me talk all night. You want to meet the man. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, and if you don't make it loud in here, please welcome to the stage, Guy Fieri! Equipped for the party. A little tequila, a little cigar, that's what we do, right?
They all have cigars and tequila. I figured I'd bring my own out here.
Why not?
Cigars and tequila?
Why not?
Oh, we can't do it this year. We got in trouble last year giving out tequila.
I heard.
Yeah.
I think my co-host Kevin Frazier's banned from this place now because of that.
That's why we got rid of Kevin. We brought in the Queen.
Yeah, we got.
Thank you guys for being here, by the way. It's awesome.
They just finished watching the episode, and
I was watching it too.
Me too. You had me at pork belly lollipops. Are you kidding me?
Mine was Jim Socks. Jim Socks, sauerkraut, and brownies. Yeah.
By the way, I love you, Guy, but I don't know if I believe that sauerkraut chocolate cake. I don't know. Do y'all believe that?
Yeah. I do.
You believe that it was good? I don't.
What was that half-hearted clap? Semi-believe that. No, I'm going to tell you.
I think it's good.
It's the long-standing question about Triple D. Do you really like everything you eat?
Exactly.
If I didn't like it, you wouldn't see it. I promise you that. And back in the day, there were places. I mean, our research now is so heavy, and so our team is so diligent. I give all the credit to my team. It's like you can throw touchdowns if you have an awesome team blocking for you. I really believe that's the case. So we do so much research in it now. I don't think it's been in 10 years that I've tried something that I haven't said it really is what it is. Now, there is a difference between liking something, loving something, and losing mind about something.
Right.
Okay, we know that.
Yes.
But if I don't like it, or if it's not good, you won't see it.
Is there something that stands out to you that you have just lost your mind about to this day that you still think about?
I just shot 6 locations in LA in the last 2 days, and I lost my mind about 3 times. Food in today's world, I mean, when I first started Triple D back in 1878, feels like it was that.
Feels like it, right?
Yeah. When we started Triple D, I actually thought the first 2 years, I'm like, this will be over in a couple of years. I'll run out of places. And fortunately, and I give Food Network all the credit in the world. I think they have righted the ship. We've been going down a path of processed foods. Remember, you used to go to restaurants and it was microwave food. And food that was made in another state or another country and shipped in a plastic bag. I think I give Food Network all the credit in really righting the ship. But I have restaurants all the time that I'll go and visit. I'm like, this is so awesome. Well done. You've made such... And they go, we started this because we watched the Food Network 10 years ago. And we're big fans, and we saw that everyday people can make everyday food and do it really well and be successful, and that's what we did. And I imagine there's probably, in today's world, 20% of the Triple D joints that we shoot are somewhat developed and inspired through not just the Food Network, but diners, drive-ins, and dives.
I love that. I love that so much. You know what? Well, one of my favorite meals I've ever had is actually at your... Guy invited me up to come hang with him at his house in Northern California. This man got on the grill and just turned out one of the best burgers I've ever had in my entire life. Like, I still think about that burger.
You do, because you haven't eaten in the last 6 months.
I can't stand him!
Look at you.
I can't stand him!
You should not look fantastic.
I'm telling you, you're black like...
Going up. No, I'll tell you what it is. Food in today's world, in my opinion, and hosting Tournament of Champions, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Guys, Grocery Games, all these. I'm watching the chefs of today just elevate their game to another level. I mean, that's what's so inspiring for me as a chef, and I've always been a cook and wanted to cook, and I just see that people are engaging so much more and stopping the bullshit and getting back to the basics.
Yeah.
Quality ingredients, correct procedure, open imagination, and fortunately, all of you, all the members and members of society, residents of Flavortown, thank you. We are helping these chefs achieve their dreams and their goals of making fantastic food. So
I think the thing that we all fall in love with you about too, though, is that you're kind of like every man makes good, right? He's like our homeboy that is now a rock star. Exactly. It's true. I can talk about you all day, but it is true. And I wonder if you sit back and ever have those pinch me moments, because you were just like this guy who, did Food Network star, and now you are that dude.
So, my wife and I lived here in LA, or actually lived in Long Beach. I was a district manager. Anybody remember the little restaurant group called Luis's Trattoria?
Yeah.
So I was one of the 2 district managers for Luis's. I was really young at that stage of my career. I wanted to do everything in the restaurant business before I started my own restaurants, because my dad said you have to learn all facets of the business before you can be great at it. I had the cooking thing going. I was pretty good at that, but I wanted to know the business side of things. So finally, we decided to leave Southern California and go back to Northern California. We were 5 months pregnant with our son, Hunter. Mm-hmm. Hunter's in the audience, by the way.
Yeah, where is Hunter? There he is. Hi, Hunter.
Get him and wave, kid.
Yes, stand up, Hunter.
So for us to come back here and kind of have this moment, this is very serendipitous. But the thing was, we left here. We were 5 months pregnant. We had $4,500. We had everything that we owned fit in a 20-foot trailer that I built. We had a car, a Hyundai with 400,000 miles. Wow. My pickup truck from college, and 2 Rottweilers. And we moved back to Northern California. I worked multiple jobs with the idea of opening my own restaurant. Mm-hmm. My parents mortgaged their home. They were about 6 months from retiring. They mortgaged their home, lent me $50,000, started my first restaurant, built that restaurant group up to 8 restaurants, and then all of a sudden was struck by lightning, I guess, like Back to the Future, and the Food Network opportunity happened. Never had planned on it, never had even, people said, is this the dream come true? I said, I couldn't dream of something like that. I just wanted to be first and foremost a great dad, I wanted to be a great husband, I wanted to be a chef, I wanted to own my own restaurant. I did all those things in a very early time of my life. Right. And then this opportunity for Food Network. So, now as life goes on, and I'm 47 plus 10, I'm 57. But I have this, I just stick with the 47 part. But I have this, this really incredible life, and I've fulfilled most of the dreams that I have. So now my interest really is more about, it's not even the pinch me, it's pinch the opportunity of what I can do. And going around the country and shining the light on these mom and pop restaurants and changing their lives. Yes. That's probably the greatest part of my career.
I love that. Are you like us? Do you sit and watch Diners, Drive-Ins, Dives? Can you watch it? Do you watch a marathon on Friday nights?
Well, I do watch it, and I do enjoy it. And then I realize how much memory I'm losing. I went there?
Right.
What the hell was I wearing? No, you know what it is? I watch it for a lot of reasons. One, it reminds me why I do it. Mm-hmm. Being on the road as long as I've been on the road is probably the only thing I don't like about my career. I'm a redneck. I'm a home guy. I'm home. Hunter will tell you, I'm home. Sometimes I'll be home for 2 weeks. I won't leave my house.
Yeah.
And we have a nice property, and I have my gym there, and I have my cars there, and my office is there. Actually, you want to meet somebody really cool? She's here. She's my right-hand person, my executive admin that is the glue to Guy Fieri. Where's Natalie Charter? Natalie?
Natalie! Stand up, Natalie! Stand up! There we
All my family, they're all here. But Natalie works in the barn. We have an old vintage barn, and Natalie's offices are down there with the team. But
Built a pretty good life.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking backstage about this. I've been up here for quite a few years doing this, and we've been nominated quite a few times, which thank you very much. The nominations all hang in my ranch, which is that's the crown jewel of our family. But I said, I got my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 19, before my dad passed away, which was a really big deal. And I'm so honored to have that opportunity. He said, but I want this Emmy more than I think anybody else does in this.
Come on!
No, hang on. This is actually a plea. And I'll tell you why, because it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten my accolades. I've had my opportunity. I have the hardest working team in television. I swear to you, this is a group that's on the road 200 days a year. They all have families. I've watched all their kids grow up. I've seen them get married, divorced. I've been around it all. But this team, we just shot Triple D today. We just shot 3 locations today. We started they started at 5 a.m. I got there at 7. And they do this. So I'll shoot 2 days with them. They'll shoot 8 days to get all the B-roll and to encapsulate each restaurant. And I want this more than anything. Yes, I want it. But I want it for my team. Any great quarterback takes all their linemen and buys them all cars when they win the Super Bowl.
100%.
And they ask me every year, why do you go do this? And I say, because I'm campaigning. I am on the campaign trail for the Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives crew that have been with me for 17 years to finally get their recognition.
Come on, let's make this happen.
That's my plea.
Come on. Absolutely. By the way, so we've got some microphones that are set up on the side here. I know you
Those
guys...
are for karaoke. They're
Yeah.
only for karaoke. No
What's your
random-
go-to karaoke
Right.
song, by the way?
Wouldn't that be great? What was my...
Yeah, what's your go-to karaoke?
Besides it sounding like a cat getting drugged through a lawnmower, I'm not a singer. I'm not an actor. We were having that conversation. I would be a Hank Williams Jr.
Come on. Yes,
That
indeed.
country boy can't survive.
Family tradition?
Yeah, family tradition.
Yes.
Depends on how much Jack if you want the whole album. You know, if I have more tequila, the better, the worse the songs get.
Yes, tell
I
me,
need to know
Hank,
half the words. I'll sing the
why
hook.
do you drink?
Yeah.
But no, so there are some microphones set up here. If you guys have questions, I see this gentleman's coming up down all the way already. You can line up there, and we're
That's
gonna.
my Uncle Joe. He's going to ask the same thing. I don't owe you any money. I told you that.
You have a question, sir?
Yes.
Yes, all right.
Thank you for coming.
What's your name?
My name is Rick.
Okay, hi, Rick.
I'm more of a barbecue guy myself. My question is about like old versus new techniques, and when you see the trends, I think this show it looked like everything was kind of like invented or created by the chefs as opposed to legacy type recipes. And I wonder if you see a trend about that, and how you feel a chef approaches that. Is it always about grandma's recipe, or is it about like inventing something from scratch?
I don't think the inventing thing. There's some techniques and some gastronomy that's going on that, like when he glued the meat together. I sat there and went, what? Really? I mean, why not just serve it like it is and go through all because the waste. He didn't have waste. He used every part of that pork belly. But you'd cut those ring pops out, and I'm like, bro, couldn't we just cut them into squares? I mean, couldn't we make this a lot easier on everybody? And he's like, don't the rings look good? And I go, the circles look amazing. The lollipop's awesome. Maybe a 10 or 15% increase in that. But what we're seeing also is a lot of the rejuvenation of the old recipes and the old styles. And I think we're getting away from the shortcuts and getting into the what was popular when it was type of thing. You know, seeing more pickling, seeing more pressure cookers, more canning, some of this stuff. Because what the old style cooking, if you really think about this, is taking food that wasn't so readily accessible. You know, you take a New York steak and you cook it, boom, you got New York steak. But when you take a tougher piece of meat and you have to really go into brining it or smoking it or, you know, making it into pastrami or that kind of stuff. So I think not as much in the inventive new ways of doing stuff, more of the going back to the old school method.
Thank you. So there's a lot of value in the old school.
Oh, I think Escoffier said it. I mean, everything's been written. We've done it. We're just redoing a lot, which is fine. I mean, think about music. I mean, besides adding some computers into it, we're still going back to the same chords and the same, you know, it's just utilizing it in a different way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
question.
you, Rick. I'm going to come over here to you, man. What's your name?
Noel.
Noel?
Noel.
Noel, hi.
Hi.
With all that hair.
I don't have a question, but
I'm
you bought
with you,
my
Noel,
vote with
honey.
tequila last year. You bought my vote with tequila last year, and you're getting it again this year, Guy. I'm voting for you.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Noel.
I want to remind all the members, you all have friends that are not here. Which one of the most wonderful things I heard, which is terrible for those 900 or 1,000 people that didn't get in, is this was booked in the first.
It's packed in
hours.
here, yeah.
And this is 660 seats, and it was booked in the first hour or two. And there were 900 people in the first 2 hours that didn't get in, and 1,600 people, and the numbers went up and up. I want to remind you, you all have a voice, and you all have an opinion, and you've all been doing this for a long time, and you come from all different. I meet a lot of you multiple times, and do us a favor, do us all a favor. Be a supporter, be a campaigner. Go out there and explain the story, because not everybody gets it. I understand. TV shows, you have things that you love and you have things that you support and you believe in. Listen, I'm a Shark Tank fan. Do not get me wrong. But they've won enough. They've shared enough trophies. But honestly, you know, it's spreading the message. And someone asked me, we were talking about this just a moment ago. I would have stopped this show a long time ago. Not stopped it because I don't like to work. I just don't, you know, being away from my family and having my team away from their family. Mm-hmm. But all you have to do is have one restaurant look you in the eye after their show aired and tell us how it changed their life. I had a chef, this is a real story, 2 years ago at South Beach Food and Wine, chef that I've known, I haven't seen him in 10 years. He and his wife came backstage from my presentation, and tears in their eyes, and I thought, oh my gosh, I want to hear the worst. And they brought me a gift, and that wasn't the point. They just were telling, they had this, and I said, is everything okay? They said, we haven't had a chance to see you in 12 years. We put our 4 children, 3 through medical school and 1 through law school, because you came to our little restaurant and put us on the map, and our success has been over the moon. And we just want you to know that all of these kids are gonna have a greater life because of you. And I said, well, let me just remind you, all I did is put the spotlight on a great family making great food. But the fact that I got to participate in the success of those 4 kids going to a higher level education and perhaps, and I do believe, making this a better country, to be participating in that is one of the greatest gifts in the world.
That's
and
incredible.
I do it because of them.
That's incredible. It really is. It really is. Sir, what's your name?
Hey, I'm Doug.
Hi, Doug.
So, Guy, I've been watching you basically for the 17 years. And
You're a great person.
thank you for Friday nights. Love going to your places even when we travel across the U.S. But my question is about you. When you travel around the globe, where do you like to eat?
Doug, the same places you like. There's an app, and I don't own the app, but I do own everything in the world of Flavortown. Flavortown is my baby. Flavortown Foods, all those things are Flavortown. But there's a husband and wife team, and I've never met them, but they're big fans of Triple D. And they made an app. And just until like last year, it was free. Now I think really gonna have to dig deep. I think it's 99 cents, maybe $2. But it's the greatest app because all you have to do is, near me, and you put in you text that in, and it tells you all the Triple D joints next to you. Now, maybe somebody used it today.
Maybe.
Me. I was shooting in town over on, and I had applied the app. this thing keeps cutting out. I apologize. But I applied the app to remember some of the places I did it. We've been over 1,600 locations.
Yeah.
But no, I do the exact same thing because I forget too. But I love to go to the places that I've been to. And I'm always seeking out unique, funky joints. The question today was asked to me, love, marry, hate of Triple D. Mm-hmm. And I can't stand that game, especially when you ask me about those three. But I said I love my drive-ins because I have a very deep feeling. My dad and I used to go to the A&W drive-in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was special because my parents were hippies and we didn't get to eat. We didn't drink soda. We didn't eat meat. I mean, you name it. I lived this impoverished life of what then was horrible, but now awesome food. And Mary, I'm a dive guy. I mean, dives are my thing. The funkier, the dirtier, the crazier, the better. And I said, if I have to pick the hate, it's not the hate or the kill, whatever you call it, was the diner because I never grew up in a diner. I never was around diners. That's an East Coast thing. But those are the funky joints. Triple D is my deal because these are the mom and pop joints around the country. And I honestly believe, I like five-star food, but I'm more into the Triple D side of the world. So.
Love that.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Athena.
Say that again.
Athena.
Athena? Mm-hmm. Hi, Athena.
Hi. So I think we can all agree that this is one of the greatest TV shows in history.
You better say it, Athena.
I mean, who doesn't like to eat, right?
Exactly.
So my question to you is, I want to know a little bit about your journey because everyone has a great idea, but they don't act on it, or it could be a great idea and it just never gets made. How did you craft the idea and believe in it so much so to make such a great show like this and actually get it produced and stay on television for so many years?
Well, Athena, that's a very deep question, and since we all have an extra hour or two, let me... I was in... doing a 10-year sentence. I was in my 7th year.
As my grandmother
Only
said,
my
he's so
son
full of
laughed.
ism.
Only my son laughed. So I was locked up in Sing Sing, and I thought, you know what? They should do prison food. No, it wasn't even my idea. It wasn't my idea. Food Network had given me a show. My first show was called Guy's Big Bite, and Guy's Big Bite was awesome. I loved it, except it did really look like a prison cell. We got the budget of, like a pair of tennis shoes. So I had Guy's Big Bite, and they called and said, we have this other show for you. So I went to do the show, and it was about all kitchen gadgets, like an avocado peeler slicer thing, and an oven that talked to your phone. I mean, this is, again, 17, 18 years ago. And they gave me all these gadgets, and it was called Gotta Get It.
Oh, yeah.
And so we shoot the pilot for it. I get the phone call, and they said, congratulations, you got picked up a 13-episode primetime show. And I said, hey, I'm not going to be able to do that. And they said, what? And so I got every executive, even the president, Brooke Johnson, the president of the network, called me and said, you are committing like the biggest crime. We shot the pilot, you're getting approved. This is a primetime show. This isn't 6 a.m. Cooking show right next to the Shark vacuum. This is like a real show. Thank you. If you get any of the jokes, just feel free to laugh at any of them. I'm working hard up here.
He is. He's working really hard for all 660.
I turned down the show, and they were just mystified that I would. I said, quite honestly, I didn't even expect to really be on the Food Network. I thought this was going to be kind of like a fun adventure to get my ass kicked on TV and then go home. I didn't know I was going to win. And so Brooke Johnson said, she goes, you may not ever be offered a show again. I said, okay. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm authentic. I can't do something I don't believe in. That's just not my nature.
Right.
So long story short, they called me about 6-8 months later, and they said, we have another show for you. It's called Divers, Drive-Ins, and Divers. Diners, drive-ins. That's why I call it Triple D, because I could never say it. That's why it really became Triple D. They said, well, we have a show. It's you being a food critic. I said, nope. And they said, no. They said, why? I said, because I'm not a food critic. I'm a cook. They said, no, it's you going to, keywords, mom and pop joints. And I said, mom and pop joints? Recognizing the everyday restaurateur that works their ass off, never gets the experience, the exposure to be, recognized for who they are. I said, that's my kind of show. And that's how it started.
Love that.
7 years
name?
My name is Sheila.
Hi, Sheila.
Sheila's definitely here for the karaoke.
Yes, definitely. So, Guy, like when you first got started, I also had won a national cooking competition.
Come on, Sheila.
And and I was working with another celebrity chef for the contract. We were in Atlantic City, Food and Wine Festival. And when Guy's people rolled in, it was like a rolling frat party, you guys. He was brand new. He was brand new, and he was just, he was like the 100-pound gorilla in the room. It was crazy. It was crazy. I've always followed you. You have always gotten my vote, because obviously I'm a food person. But I've seen your trajectory. I know what you've done for other restaurants, and I really know what you did during COVID. Yes, all of the restaurants are really shuttered. So I don't have a question. I just have a thank you. It's awesome. And even now hearing about what you're doing for your family and your team is just, like, I was sitting there, I was like, damn, this guy is like the guy.
Love that.
Yeah.
Guy is that guy.
You're that guy.
Yes, he
You're
is.
that guy. Also, I'm launching my own food show, so we're gonna.
Oh, come on, Sheila. You
No,
better.
guys, seriously, that's it. Just thank you for sharing what you have, because what's the point if you don't?
You're awesome.
Thank you, Sheila.
Sheila, what competition did you win? What was that?
Oh, it was Real Women of Philadelphia, sponsored by Kraft. I was working with Paula Dean.
Well, I'll tell you something. It's so tough to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I remember when my friends were pushing me into the Food Network start. I had never seen one show on the Food Network. I'm a cook. I own my own restaurants. Like, I'm going to come back and watch other people cook what they're cooking. I mean, I did see one little clip of Rachel Ray, and I'm like, ah, she's a badass. and also a really good friend of mine. But I'll tell you what it is. The bravery that you had to put yourself out there, and and it wasn't even about criticism in that era, because we didn't have as much social media. It's just about winning and losing. And my friends wanted me to go on this Food Network show, and I'm like, deep down inside, I'm like, I do not need to go on national television to get my ass kicked. You know, I didn't go to culinary school. I'm from the hard knocks. I mean, I'm from the rest. I washed dishes when I was 10. So it wasn't. I didn't want to do it because honestly, I didn't want to fail. But I was always the guy in my group that encouraged everybody to start their own business, or ask the girl out on a date that they weren't going to, or have kids even though they didn't know if they were going to be a great parent. I was always that guy that was pushing people. And I woke up one day and I said, you can't be a hypocrite about this. You're going to have to step up and toe up and be responsible. And so I made a demo tape that was absolutely no way in hell were they going to pick me. That was my way of committing but not committing. Sure enough, they loved it. So if you ever want to see something very funny, go to Guy Fieri's audition tape for the Food Network. And
I'm looking it up tonight.
Almost verbatim. I'm sitting at the bar in my restaurant, and I said, hi. When do you ever hear me talk like that? Hi, I'm Guy Fieri. And because I'm here in the wine country, I'm going to make you a sausage and tofu stuffed terrine. And I'm going to put that on a bed of grape nuts. And I'm going to top that off with a mildly poached ostrich egg. And because we're here in the, I'm going to top that off with a delicious pickled herring mousse. Let's go through this. Sausage, tofu, terrine. Don't go together. A bed of grape nuts, the cereal.
Grape nuts.
A mildly poached ostrich egg. Could you see putting a mildly poached ostrich egg on a terrine? I mean, it'd be the size of a football. And then topping it with pickled herring mousse. That is the worst combination of things in the world. And so then I laugh at the camera and I go, ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. Food Network is about real food and real people. And that's how it got started. So I applaud you for being brave enough to put yourself in the competition.
Way to go.
Well done. Thank you.
Hello, so what's your name?
Hi, my name is James.
Hi, James.
Hi, I have a question about one of your characters in the show, and that is your cars, the Super Sport, that cherry red one with the convertible. Is there a story behind that?
James, my dad's name James. My son Hunter's middle name is James. Is there anybody else named James?
I'm sure. There you go.
All right, so here's the deal. James, it's a great question. So we start Triple D. 17 days we shot the pilot for the show. Seven cities. We drive all over. Well, the production company we didn't have any money, and we didn't really know exactly what we were doing, but we knew we needed convertibles because you can't shoot inside of a car without a great lighting system, otherwise it's too dark. So we had to have a convertible. So we drove every kind. I'm a bow tie guy, but maybe somebody did make me drive a Ford one time. I don't want to talk about it. Now, I couldn't offend anybody. There's some badass Fords. The one I drove was bad. Anyhow, so we went around the country and drove all these different cars, and the show gets picked up. And the producer of the show at the time says, all right, we got picked up. Out of all those cars, which one do you want to drive? And I said, that red Camaro that we drove, that's the car red Camaro. He went and bought the exact red Camaro, the one I had driven. Well, this guy was not a car guy, and by no means was this car in any good shape. I mean, he used to stall in the middle of the intersection all the time. I had to rip the top off of the car. We were in Boulder, Nevada, shooting at the Coffee Cup, and we couldn't get the top up or down. I'm a little bit of a backyard mechanic, so we went and got cheap tools over at Cregan, and I had to take the entire mechanical top out of the car. If you ever watch that episode, it's one of the first episodes on Triple D, you'll notice that the bimini top of the cover for the back of the convertible, you'll look at it and it looks really lumpy because it was shoved with tomato boxes in the back to puff up the back of it. The whole top was laying in a field around the corner. So what eventually ended up happening is we changed production companies, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to get the car. I'll build the car. It was a rotisserie 68 Super Sport that's in the show now. And recently, just 2 years ago, we built another car because the car's always on the road. There's one driver, one trailer, and that car that go all over the country, 365. Again, talking about my team needs the love. And we built another car because that kid over there and his little brother Ryder like to argue about when I'm gone, who gets the car. So now we have two Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives cars.
Who wins, Hunter?
So Ryder got the car. Nice question, James.
Thank you, James.
You have a great crew as well. The DP work, the cameraman, everybody there. They're great.
Well, you know, because you're in the industry, you all are. I don't think there's one person. I think I look at actors and TV personalities, and I've worked with your team just yesterday. We were shooting, and it's really the truth. We get to look good. We sound good. We're prepped right. We get the right makeup. We get the right clothes. Jessica Vose, my superstar stylist. I'd be up here in hiking boots, bad socks, mismatched colors if it wasn't for Jessica. So just remember, it's the team that makes us all look good up.
Jessica,
we're not that good on our own.
The kicks are really good. Sir, what's your question?
I'm Pierre Guy. Pleasure to meet you, sir. It's an honor, and same as you, Miss Lady.
Miss Lady, I like that.
He's no dummy about
No, he's not.
Oh,
No, he's
no.
not. What's your name, fella?
My name is Pierre Johnson.
Okay, Pierre.
Yeah, originally from Washington, D.C. Guy, I've been an independent television and film producer for 17, 18 years now. I created a cooking show that I've been working on behind the scenes, and the reason why it took so long, but I was never chasing fame. I was protecting relationships that I had because I work with a lot of athletes. So while I was also watching Triple D, I created this cooking show, and I just wanted to shoot it. I took the house budget, and I said, let's just see what the show tell me what it is. And it came out with so much inspiration and a fingerprint of Triple D that I would love for you to see what it is that I've created and what we've been blessed to do, because we also have an amazing team, and we have every component that is in it, and I'm celebrating 3 weeks of divorce because of that drink.
Oh, no, not celebrating.
It is, it's something I stood on for 17 years. It's amazing. I love it with all my heart. I stand on it till the day I leave. And it's an honor, and thank you for your inspiration, but I definitely would love for you to put your eyes on it.
Well, Pierre, closed mouths don't get fed, baby. So
Stood up here.
you gotta shoot your shot.
One of my favorite lines, Pierre, I'm easy to find. You can go to my website, you go to info Guy Fieri, send it to me, I'll take a look at it, but let's just remember, I'm the one fighting for the Emmy right now.
Thank you.
So, Pierre, I love your inspiration, man. You have to have that kind of gut drive to make it in this business. You all know, you're all from the industry.
Yeah.
It takes that kind of gut drive, so
100%.
good luck on you, man.
Thank you, absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Hi, what's your your name?
Hey, Nischelle. Hey, Guy. How are you? I'm Angela, also Foodie G on Yelp.
Come on, Foodie.
Great name.
Yeah. So I just want to say the Triple D is my favorite show on television. Congratulations, 17 seasons. And I want to know how many episodes you do per season normally.
In actuality or in my mind?
I watch them out of order.
497,000 a year. No, we do 26, maybe a little bit more. If it was up to Betsy, our president over here, I'd do 500. But she's the say hi, Queen Bee. You're the boss. Wave your hand. Come on, Betsy.
Betsy's like, okay.
Sitting up front. We do 26, which is 3 locations per episode. We shoot them all over the country. There's no real rhyme or reason. People are like, how do you pick them? It just depends on where writers having spring break. Where's something happening in the world. We've been to every single state in the country. We've been out of the country. We shot in Cuba. We shot in Puerto Rico. We shot in Europe. We've done it. But it takes, like I said, it takes an 8-day pod to do 6 locations. And that's 15 people to do that. It's quite a bit of heavy lifting, but it's all worth it, right? It's a good show. We all dig it.
Yes, indeed. Okay, we're going to take one last question. I just saw you run up the ramp. This is our last question because, Guy, you like to talk. We've been talking for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to do what else?
Yeah.
Is it dance time?
It's a dance.
Bring it out, river dance. Hunter's going to come up here and... No, he's not doing river dance.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, we know she is.
Listen, she does.
But she can't walk out in heavy wind now that she only weighs 92 pounds.
This man has
We've
lost
known
like
each other a long
75
time.
pounds.
I saw her on the set the other day, and she comes walking by, and I'm like, hello, how do you de-age and de-weight?
Listen, the same way you do, sir.
Hello.
What's your name, sweetheart?
My name is Garcia.
Dacia?
Garcia.
Yes. There we go.
My question is that, has there ever been a place where you've loved it so much, like the food was really good, that you've ever gone back there again with like your family?
Garcia came
Are
with
you
the
spying
heat.
on me?
Yeah.
Are you spying on me? Well, there's 2 things that happen. 1, yes, that happens all the time. 2, I quit giving you my favorite restaurants. There was a place in Santa Rosa, still is, up by where we live, called La Texanita. Hunter and I did it together. Hunter was really young back then. And we shot this place. And it was already a very famous, well-known Mexican restaurant. And we were kind of the only gringos that would go in there. It was on it was kind of not necessarily in everybody's neighborhood. And we shot Triple D there. And we just decided to go by to get some sopas. And there's a line into the parking lot. And I'm like, what? Is there a quinceañera? Is there a party? What's going on? And as I'm walking up to the line, everybody is kind of giving me this scowl, like what? And they're like, you did this. So we stood there in line for an hour to get into the place that we usually could walk in 5 minutes. So I quit telling you my favorite. No, I didn't. I still do it. I suck. I still tell you my favorite places. But yeah, no, I do have the ones that I take. Listen, it's that good, great, and lose your mind restaurants. And there's more lose your mind restaurants than you'd believe.
I like that.
And it's hard to pick the ones that you want to go back to again, and they start to get annoyed that you show back up. But we do another show called Triple D Nation, which is kind of like a Where Are They Now show, and kind of gives them a highlight of what we've done and where we've been and how is it. And we don't ask them to give us, oh, thank you, Guy, for doing that. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear, tell us the new location, tell us the new menu items, how is it all, how your kid took over, that kind of stuff. But no, we go back to quite a few.
I like that. I like that very much. You guys, please.
Before you leave, do me this one favor. Working in this industry, don't leave yet. We're not going to open the food lines or the bar.
I mean, I know y'all want to eat. I want to eat too.
I do want to thank everybody for showing up. There's so many folks that come to do what we're doing tonight. And I got to thank the Food Network, Erica Slavin, who is my right hand. She takes such great care of us. This, to me, is more about a message of what we can do. You know, we're all common people. We all come from a background of wanting to do something with the gift that we have. And we're so blessed to have the opportunity. You turn so many lives, you change so many lives and give us such great information. Thank you, team. Thank your co-hosts. Thank the people you work with. It's a real opportunity and a blessing to be in this space. So nice to see you all.
Thank you, guys.
There's a lot going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.